On the morning of April 28, 2015, Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy acknowledged the absurdity of changing the definition of marriage. But that changed on June 26, 2015, when Justice Kennedy ignored his own words and authored the same-sex marriage opinion. Chief Justice John Roberts in dissent called the opinion lawless when he said that 5 lawyers have imposed their own will, not a legal judgment, not based on the Constitution or on the court's precedents. And Justice Samuel Alito warned of a coming clash with religious freedom.
You know, God ordained marriage from the very beginning to be between one man and one woman for life. Now, when I think about marriage in my life before I knew Christ, I was a miserable flop at it, just terrible. But I still knew that it was between one man and one woman. And I thought, Lord, surely, you're not going to use me to defend something that I failed so miserably at in life before I knew you. You're not going to use me to do that, surely. But that's exactly what he intended, and that's exactly what he did.
We had people out protesting every day. There would be people that would come in opposition, and then the 4 would come in and they would get into big screaming and yelling matches out there in the middle of the office.
Then Kim was arrested because she refused to violate her conscience by issuing a marriage license under her title and authority that conflicted with God's definition of marriage.
The gentleman came to take me to the Carter County Detention Center. He asked me to stand up and asked me to put my hands in front of me like this. And he put, the handcuffs on my wrist, and I had it around my waist. And then there was a chain that went down and hooked to my ankles. So I was like this, when I was sitting. And it was very uncomfortable to walk because the ones on your ankle will bite. I mean, they bite your Achilles tendon.
Kim was finally released after 6 days.
Liberty Counsel has been wonderful. Everybody I've met there, not just the attorneys, but the whole family that's there. Those people I know every morning pray. They lifted me up in prayer. I know. I knew I had to do what was right. And with their support, and with their back, they were, right beside me. I felt confident that I could stand. And then we get a call from the jail. Mr. Davis, we have got boxes and boxes of mail here for your wife. And I looked at that and I thought, oh my, all that is for me? And he said, yeah, it's all yours. It was all mailed to the Carter County Detention Center in my name. And it was a continual opening of mail and reading and just, going through it all. Went back the next day, had to pick up about 3 more boxes of mail.
But it was her faith in Jesus Christ that gave this Kentucky County Clerk the greatest strength. And because of Kim's courageous stand, a new governor was elected who accommodated her request by allowing her to opt out of issuing same-sex marriage licenses.
Her boldness, her conviction, her knowing that she was right, her willingness to defend that against all the scorn, all the enmity, all the vitriol, all the nastiness. She stood firm. I think Kim Davis is without question an inspiration, not only to leaders like myself, people in the public arena and those outside the public arena, but to my children, to the children of America. People, even if they disagree with her, have got to respect the fact that here is a woman who was willing to put it all on the line out of conviction for what she believed and knew to be her right as an American citizen. And her faith and her conviction in the fact that that faith was protected by the First Amendment of our Constitution and our Bill of Rights specifically is something that she was willing to put front and center. And if that's not admirable, if that's not something we would want all Americans to emulate, I don't know what is.
The battle is becoming more intense. Those involved in ministry, education, and businesses are increasingly becoming targets of the LGBT agenda. Some are even facing financial ruin. Yet we must stand firm and fight for our freedom to believe and for the rights of conscience.
I think it woke a lot of people up, and I think that was the purpose, for me being incarcerated, not just for my rest, but to shake God's people up, to get them aware of what's coming down the pike. That is, today it's Kim Davis, tomorrow it may be you. And that's what people need to realize. It's not if it happens, if you have to stand, if you have to, defend your faith or stand up on the Word of God or stand for the Word of God, but when? Because it will come. There will be a day and time when you will be faced with the same decision. Maybe not on the same issue that I am faced with, but you will have to stand for the truth of God.
First, they came for the county clerk, but I did not speak out because I did not do marriage licenses. Then they came for the wedding photographer, but I did not speak out because I did not photograph weddings. Then they came for the baker, but I did not speak out because I was not a baker. Then they came for the florist, but I said nothing because I was not a florist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.